Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another glorious episode of Jedi Talk. I'm your host, Brad Hughes, and today the full council is here, ladies and gentlemen. We're back. To my right is someone we all know and love, the man, myth, the legend, Evan T. Boucher. What's going on, bitch?
Hello there. I don't know if know and love is fair. I know a lot of people know me. I don't know if they love me or not, but who's to say, who's to care?
Who's to say?
It's been a decent week, and I'm excited because the day after this episode comes out, Tom and I will have experienced Tron.
Yeah, I'm a little bummed out. I can't go, but I get to go see Matt Nathanson for my birthday.
That's pretty dope.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Tron's not going anywhere. This is a one-time thing, of course. But perfect story of my life moment, right? Like this really cool thing that could have happened also coincides with something else that is really cool, and you got to pick. And
you'll get an AP preview though. You'll go,
unfortunately, I'm doing this. So, speaking of who cares, Tom O'Curry's here, everyone.
By the right of the council, by the will of the Force. I'd do the same thing for Metallica. I'd go to them 10 out of 10 times. No offense, Mr. Boucher over there.
Oh no, I don't blame you.
I'd go to
like you said,
Metallica.
Tron's not going anywhere.
Yeah. See, Brad's annoyed right now, and they weren't white. I'll just leave it at that. So he's closing the garage. The people walking by. He didn't hear me.
No, I think he did. He was thinking the same thing you said. So
I said, I was telling the listeners how you got up to close the garage, and I'm like,
because he's annoyed.
I'm like, he's annoyed, and I'll just say they weren't white.
True.
Goodness.
I don't like when people walk by and just stare in. It's if you don't know, if you haven't seen the videos and stuff on TikTok, like the garage we record out of is really cool. Like it's really cool in here. There's a lot of action figures. There's a lot of lightsabers and a lot of booze. But like people just stand, they will like walk by and just stand there on like the sidewalk and just look in, and I'm like, you casing the joint? Get out of here! You don't need to be looking at this.
You're a a good Wi-Fi connection in here away from teenagers using it to jerk off,
dude. You are not. I wish we had this apartment right here on the floor, because then
right
I
on the
could
corner,
just have
it'd be perfect.
This could just be an extension of the apartment.
Yeah,
that'd
it really
be cool.
would be. Time to move again.
I would do it in a heartbeat, 100%. All right, so today is a very important day. Today is National Star Wars Podcast Day. Is that the name of it?
Star Wars Podcast Day 2023. And yeah,
there it is.
It's national.
National, international.
It absolutely
intergalactic.
Is
intergalactic
It's
Star Wars Day.
We are healthy and approved.
Kind of. Don't get me started.
Kind of. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So that's our top 10 we're going to talk about, right?
Yeah,
our top 10 podcast moments.
From Jedi Talk.
From Jedi Talk.
From Jedi Talk. So I want to. I'm looking specifically for this screenshot I took, but that's okay. So this is Star Wars Podcast Day 2023, and I know we teased this last week, and Brad's got a good story that's actually going to lead into a very special guest we're going to have on this episode.
Yes,
and that's coming up. So we're going to be.
It's the first time we've talked to him in person, isn't it? I know you've messaged and stuff online, but sweet.
So for those of you unaware, the reason Star Wars Podcast Day is February 7th was because many moons ago in the late 90s, the first Star Wars podcast show broke the airwaves, and it was named Jedi Talk. So, Brad, I'm going to lead into your story here.
Sure. So I started Jedi Talk in like 2015, 2016.
Right.
Leading up to The Force Awakens. And the long story short is I was a stand-up comic, and I didn't have a lot of friends who were Star Wars fans. And I was already doing a Disney podcast at the time, and I was like, all right, I got to start doing a Star Wars podcast because, A, I'm just like more into like, talking about the speculation of Star Wars and stuff. And the only really big other Star Wars podcast at the time was Collider Jedi Council with Christian Harloff and Mark Ellis. Those are incredible still. If you go back and watch them, they're so much fun to go back and watch.
That was like the one podcast I never missed back in the day. I would always day of download and listen.
Yeah, me too. I remember driving to them talking about like their non-spoiler review of The Force Awakens driving up to a job I hated at Purdue, at a chicken processing plant, and like just sitting in the car and being like, God,
I never talked about that working there before.
You didn't know that?
Sarcastic. Dude.
Oh! I was like, what? How did you know that?
You've ripped on that.
I hated that place.
For good
place
reason,
last.
though. For good reason.
For good reason. Absolutely.
It truly gives me, and I got injured really badly there. So I started doing Jedi Talk podcasts leading up to The Force Awakens, and I remember being like, what am I going to call this thing? Like, because at the time it was the Daily Disney Blog podcast, was the Disney podcast that I was doing. And I was like, I got to come up with a fun name for the Star Wars thing. And I don't remember what, and I had like a list of stuff that like made sense. And since I was a big fan of Collider Movie Talk and Jedi Council, I just blatantly ripped off Jedi
You collided
Talk.
them together.
I collided
There you go.
Jedi from Jedi Council and Talk from Movie Talk. And it's just Jedi Talk. And I was like, perfect. Like, in my brain, I was like, that's a great title. It's an homage to something that I love. You know off the bat what it is. Like, no, this is not a knock on this name because it's actually a really cool name, but like Resistance Broadcast. If you don't know who the Resistance is, it could be anything, right?
Well,
like,
look at Fourth Mother Box. If a DC fan's going to understand that, but somebody outside of that's not.
but if it was DC Talk, you'd be like,
yeah.
well, that was actually the name of a Christian band.
I was going to say, like, Washington, D.C. talk? Is it a political
oh, God,
podcast?
You don't want me hosting
it
that
could
show.
be a political
Jesus
podcast.
Christ.
I do want you hosting that.
I do, actually.
I would listen
Actually,
to that.
today
I don't
would be
do
the
politics.
best day out of any day to have me go off on a podcast.
Yes, it would be. Let's do DC Talk as a special episode of Jedi Talk talk about Chinese spy balloons, episode 1.
That's no moon.
You mean what they were distracting us from?
Yes.
And another thing. Evan,
oh, my gosh.
hit the button.
Look, I don't have buttons.
hit the button.
Holy cow, I'm totally going so fast. Oh, fuck!
But so that's how the name came about. And unbeknownst to me, the name Jedi Talk was taken from a thing that, and I Googled, this is something I always do. You know this.
Yeah.
When I come up
I
with
do
a
the same
name
thing.
for
With all
something,
your new series
I-
for stuff, like you
I
always
Google
do.
it.
Yeah.
I Googled it, and nothing came up. It's like, okay, cool, like a new Jedi. There was something that was like Jedi Talk, but it had been inactive since like I don't remember. I'm really trying to remember like one internet search from
2014, 2015.
like,
yeah.
7 years ago. 7 years ago? What are we, 20?
2023
whatever the
now,
fuck
so
it
yeah.
was.
Men
Who
can't
knows?
remember most of their internet
Math.
history unless it starts with POR.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about porgs, Evan.
I was going to
Calm
say
down.
G. I put a G
yeah,
at the
yeah,
end.
calm
I
down.
knew where you were going with that.
But I remember like there was some logo for a thing, but that's what it was. There was a logo for a show called Jedi Talk, but they had never uploaded anything, and they were like a member of this website since like 2013 or something.
Interesting.
And it was like this like clip art logo, but that was the only place that showed it up anywhere. So like now when you search Jedi Talk, it's just our show.
It's us, yeah.
It's our show. And at the time I was like, well, this dude had a name for something that he never did anything with. And so, okay, Jedi Talk, it's just what it is. Or I can't remember if it was that or if he came in afterwards and like I had to go, hey, this is the name of the show. I don't remember exactly what it was. But I remember seeing like this really shitty like, Microsoft Paint logo.
Well, on the email you forwarded me to get his to reach out to him, it looks like you talked to him in like February 21.
Yeah, well, you talked to him since I've been here. Because I remember he reached out to us and was like, he was really polite about it. He wasn't like cussing you out, but he was just like, hey, that name was like something I used for a show, and then you politely responded back. Like,
I told the truth. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I remembered seeing that. I'm remembering the story now too. Like I remembered seeing like a logo for Jedi Talk, but it wasn't that one. Like this had been something that had been created in like 2013 and had no episodes.
Yeah, the
so it wasn't this guy.
Daniel,
Right.
the Star Wars podcast day, the gentleman putting this all together, I should say. And by the way, that was February 7th, 1999.
God dang.
Is when
I was
the
10.
first Jedi Talk, 24 years. Today's the 24th anniversary of the OG Jedi Talk, which is us now by
dang.
That's
a complete
crazy.
accident. So Daniel told us that he believes we're like the third or fourth with this name, Jedi Talk.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So props to
I mean,
Daniel.
it's not a unique name. Like it's not anything. Like I'm not patting myself on the back for creativity or anything. My whole point was that it was simple.
Yeah.
Like it's just a simple.
Like you said,
simple
it was an
sauce.
homage
Yeah.
to two things.
yeah.
So
much
that's
of
it.
so I mean, I'm not like hey, it's creative. That's not a creative thing.
Why do you always go to Kyle joke over there?
I don't know.
You always go to
I didn't
Kyle
mean to.
speak.
It's just
People with short torsos?
just-
I hate them.
it's just my generic dork voice, and he just fits the bill. Unfortunately,
That's fair.
we got into a screaming match.
A
today.
little bit.
Great. Over what now?
Bro, both Brad and I are cranky as
Yo,
shit today.
I had to apologize.
It's happened. We've both been there.
Most of the time,
so
I was
That's how you know we're good friends. Like, it's fine.
90% of me, I was joking, but there was 10%
You
of
couldn't
that that was
tell.
anger.
Yeah.
That was the same with me and you. Like, that's how we love each other. That's how it is.
Me and you have had one bad fight.
Yeah.
It was brutal. But
I
me and
actually
Kyle
remember
got-
that.
Me
I
and
don't know.
Kyle got into it today. It
I
was
wasn't
pretty
on
bad.
the show yet.
Well, I'm thinking, like, there's, like, two minor ones and then one bad one. But, like, we love each other.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking about something else. I
Yeah.
was thinking about.
I know the one you're talking about.
the
It was
night,
the same
yeah.
night you joined Fourth Mother Box for the first time.
Yes.
Oh, you did? I need to go listen to that episode.
Yeah.
just for the nostalgia.
You do. It's actually on my list. I'll get into it when we get there.
Oh my gosh! Okay,
I'll get
I need
into
to
it
go
when we
listen
get
to
there.
this.
I remember that. I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's the main night. But we love each other, man. That's what we do.
Of course. We scream
What
at each
family
other.
doesn't fight?
Exactly. We're gonna fight. People who love each other fight.
We got into it on who's better, Metallica or Led Zeppelin, and it truthfully is a
It's
stupid,
a stupid
fight.
argument.
But it's driven
It's
by
a stupid
passion.
arg-
Though.
it
You two
is,
are
yeah.
huge fans of those things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well, Kyle just was making dumb arguments. he would just say shit that doesn't. He's like on Spotify they have that. I'm like, okay, that's Spotify.
you know he was doing it to
Of course he
blow
was. Of
smoke
course he
up your
was.
skirt too.
Of course
So
he was.
yeah,
And so I was like, well, let's look at album sales because that's more relevant because they both existed in a time when album sales were important to the music
it's
industry.
funny because Metallica, like half their career, they were in that, and then the other half was the digital age.
But they were both impacted by album
Sure,
sales.
yeah.
Whereas like now, you don't give a fuck how many albums you sell. Do you care about how many streams you have on Spotify?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like it's just a different
downloads.
market.
Yeah, Mhm.
Led Zeppelin had 300 million worldwide sales, which I didn't realize it was that high. I thought it was like 100 million. And Metallica had
I
like
expected-
125.
no,
300 million's
Metallica
a
more than that.
fucking lot.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's wild.
I wonder who's going to get to $1 billion first. The Beatles aren't there.
Taylor
right?
Swift.
No,
Oh,
no,
God.
Elvis probably, right? Like,
You
You
would,
would
think. Should be Gaia. That's who it should be.
Oh, good lord.
oh, good God in heaven.
Followed by DJ Rex.
Good God in heaven. All
Followed
right,
by Finger and Dan.
Who you fingering?
John Schmidt. All right, so let's dive into this. So this episode is going to be top 10 moments from the show Jedi Talk.
And we have a
Yeah.
very special guest that will be
Yes.
on the show. You're going to hear our interview with this individual.
Yeah. In
during
a way
this
that
episode.
only Jedi Talk can deliver.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yes.
very cool.
Yes.
So today's
Um,
top 10 is... Oh, shit. It's a top 10 and I'm not running it. It feels fucking
I
weird.
know, right?
Good
Dude, go
lord.
ahead, please.
No. I was just going to say,
Oh.
not starting off. You can go.
Yeah, top 10 episode today. We're doing top 10 moments. So I don't know how you guys did this, but I did it moments from the entire run of podcasting that I've done that has covered Star Wars.
Yeah, so these are our top 10 favorite podcast moments, episodes that we've all done.
Yeah.
Not the three of us together, but the ones we've been involved in.
I did more episodes than I did like specific moments because like without going back and listening to each moment, like
That's
each
impossible.
podcast over again,
Yeah. Which I used to do, but I'm behind on us. So like
I can't
kind
do
of.
it.
Yeah,
I don't like
used
to hear myself. It just makes me angry, so I don't do it.
Mine aren't all exactly like episodes. They're like moments that were born from this podcast, or like were a moment from a show. But they're like all connected to the
Connected
show.
to any
Yeah.
moments like connected to the podcast. Turn Evan up.
But I also have a few honorable mentions. I don't know if you guys do as well, but
yeah,
I
have
usually
two.
don't. But I actually have like
think I
3
do.
or something this
I
time.
think I
So
do.
Oh, you have 3? Damn.
Yeah.
I have
Oh wait,
2.
I turned you up, not Evan.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
turn down for what?
Go Tom.
Oh no, I did. All right, we're good.
Go Tom. Turning me up.
Oh, can we say congratulations, Tom?
Yeah, it's fine. I put it on
You put
social
it on
media.
social
I
media
loved
today.
I love your video. That was the best.
Congratulations, dude. Do you want to say it?
Yeah, hey everybody, my wife and I are pregnant.
There it is.
That was a Curb Your Enthusiasm joke if I ever had one done to myself. God.
That was the
dude.
best video though.
You were talking all that shit.
I know. That's why I'm steering right into it.
You should. It's hilarious.
Yeah, if people want to come at me, that's fine. But I still have very regular sex with my wife, so fuck off. Y'all don't. So
I don't have a wife.
Fair.
So yeah, it's happening, and you know.
Congratulations, man.
If it's a boy, you're naming him Cal.
I'm surprised.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I knew.
I don't
you
know if
wouldn't.
Courtney would want me to say the names
Calvin.
on here.
No, yeah, I will save that.
No, we
Yeah.
know them, but that's
No, I didn't
wouldn't-
tell you the middle name for if it's going to be a boy yet. I'll tell you
did.
off air.
I thought you did.
Did I tell you?
I thought you did.
Okay, let's talk off air. I
Okay.
can't remember. Yeah.
If it's what I think it is,
Okay.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
I
think it's going to be a girl. Courtney thinks it's going to be a boy. The reason I think it's going to be a girl is because God hates me, and my jealousy's already off the chains for my wife.
Oh,
I can't
it's
imagine
gonna
what it would be for a girl.
It's worse.
I figured.
Yeah, man. It's dude. I have a boy and a girl. For people who don't know,
You do.
and it is night and day. How you feel about them, and I know that sounds horrible.
Hates his son.
I can't say no. It's a different.
You had to make the joke.
It's a different kind of thing, and it's
Yeah.
very. I didn't think it would be this dramatic. I was like, I'll be fine. It's not. It's very different.
No. I'll say this. Right. It was kind of my personality and a little like bit of mine, right, to really steer into the no kids thing. And yeah, that's where I was at before this happened. But Courtney and I were always, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
I'm not over there spraying anything, putting double condoms on or anything. I'm fucking married. I'm having I'm not having protective sex, for fuck's sake. I've earned that.
Yeah, duh.
So it's
You did your time.
yeah. I did. I mean, and I've said this, and no offense to the people that this has happened to, but I'm much more happier it's happening now than if this were 10 to 13 years ago.
See, I would like it less now if it was happening to me at this point in my life because
That's
I'm
fair.
halfway done.
That's fair.
That's true.
I'm like
That's
I can
fair.
see the other side. But now this is when the real shit starts, like teenage boy,
Oh,
teenage
yeah.
girl shit.
Yeah.
I just have it I feel like I have a clearer head now, though. Like
That's fair.
I feel like I understand the way the world works better than I did then, right?
Mhm.
Like I know what. I don't know. I don't know how to be a parent, right? Obviously,
No one does.
I'm gonna
does.
figure it out.
Yeah,
so
everyone does.
Especially in today's age.
yeah.
I
I've
see
got,
a lot
I mean,
every
I've
day.
got no problems with that. But
You're
yeah,
going to be one of the better parents. I can
I bet-
guarantee that.
I told you that forever.
I know.
You guys would be great
You guys are
parents.
fucking smoking ganja over here. Do you want to hit my vape pen? Jesus.
No, dude, it's
Yeah.
a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm like I said. I am overall happy about it. Right. It's a bit, but I'm gonna steer into this. You got to.
You should. It's fun.
Oh, I
better
can't
believe
wait.
it,
like
yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Well,
steering.
congratulations, man.
Thank
now
you.
we can jump into
Definitely
the show.
congratulations.
All right, who wants to go first? Who has the most honorable
I
mentions?
have 3.
I have two.
I think I may have one. So 3. You guys go first.
3, 2, 1. We'll blow through these
You,
three.
you have 3, so Evan
Yes.
3, 2, me 2, then
Yes.
Bradley.
So my 3 honorable mentions, half the reason why I did them as honorable mentions is because they didn't include all 3 of us. This
Fair.
is just some moments with me and Brad here. So one of them was we watched episode 9 together.
That's awesome.
And the whole, a lot of stuff happened in that movie, like the Chewie moment, but the Hux moment too, when he's the spy. We've talked about that story. It's just we shared that whole movie together, and we went through the highs and the lows of what's going on, and okay, that's cool. So that was fun. That was a lot of fun. That's the only movie I've seen with legit hardcore fans, aside from my family, which Austin is a hardcore fan, but mom and dad are just they watch them, So it was cool to have that moment with someone who is the same at level.
That was awesome.
And then you also went into Savi's with me, and when I built my Saber,
Yeah.
you were my +1 because I had just moved to Florida for
Wasn't
2 or 3 weeks before this. I just moved here. I didn't have any other friends in the area. So
was it just you and me that went?
Yeah,
Who did I go with when
you
I
went with Dallin in Disneyland.
No, I also went with
You went with me.
Kevin Perger.
Oh, you went with Kevin?
Well, I thought he was with us on that.
That's
one.
sick. That was a different night. That should be in my. That's another honorable mention there. Just hanging out with
That was cool.
every YouTube dude
Yeah.
in Galaxy's Edge
Everybody.
before 2020.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this is gonna be an every night thing. It's gonna be great. And then 2020. So
The pandy wandy hit.
yeah, it was great. So that's another one, I guess, my 4th one. And then another moment was spent in Galaxy's Edge where we went to Oga's, and it was me and you and Holly, and at Oga's you just asked me to be part of the show because we had met
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
had been talking for a week or so at this point, and
What?
you were like,
I
do
thought
you
that was
want to
at
join the show?
Baseline Tap House for some reason. I have no idea.
That's a different moment.
That's
We're
okay.
gonna get to in my
Moment.
top
I have-
10.
it's in
Okay.
mine,
Yeah.
too.
Okay.
But that was just sick because then afterwards at the Falcon we just kind of
Made out.
broed out.
Yeah,
Broed
it was
out.
fun.
Yeah.
Had a bro down.
We had-
we had a deep kiss.
Photo
deep
pass
kiss.
caught the moment.
Speaking of bro down,
lips
South Park
locked.
comes back Wednesday.
But
Oh, does it really?
Yes, it
Sweet, I
does.
didn't see that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
yeah, dude,
Hell yeah.
those are my 4 mentions there. So
Damn,
if
that's
they
a lot
get
of
better
mentions.
than that, that's
How many you got?
impressive.
1.
All right, I got 2, so I'll go next. How did I have? I mean, I could not put my first Jedi talk right on here as one of my top episodes, but obviously it didn't make the top 10, even though it should have. But the other top 10 moments I like more because some of them are really funny. So yeah, my first Jedi talk, I had no idea I was doing it. Brad texts me. I was on the way back from my in-laws. It was a Sunday evening, and you were 3 hours ahead of me at the time because I was living in Arizona. And I was planning, we were moving out here. It was June, mid to early June. Evan was working, not just busy with something. And Brad's like, I'm looking to do Jedi Talk. You want to do it? And I'm like, yeah, why the fuck not? You said top 10. Make it, because this is back when we did episodes where we did the news and then the top 10 in the same
Yeah.
episode. Those are some long-ass episodes.
There's regularly been 4-hour episodes
Right. Yeah.
of the
Right.
show. I mean,
I like the format better now. I think
I
it
do
serves
too.
us
me
better.
too. Me
it's more
too.
palatable.
Yeah,
There's a
and
moment
much
on
more-
mine that's over 2 hours of an
Ooh,
episode.
no,
so,
no.
yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
a
it was
long
fun.
moment.
It was fun doing the top 10 episode. The only sucky thing about that episode was I hadn't figured out the best way to do Skype with podcasting yet, so I was very choppy on that episode. But we crushed it ever since.
Hell yeah.
So
Yeah, haven't looked back.
Okay, so like I was saying, my first honorable mention was the first Jedi Talk that I ever did because it was so much fun. And then my second honorable mention was just because how much fun we had ripping on Kyle when he got stuck kayaking with manatees out in Cocoa Beach.
I forgot about
You
that. That
fucking
was fun.
prick, Kyle.
You missed the fourth mother
You
talk.
missed fourth Mother Talk.
Which is how appropriate is that's the name that we came up with, and we always talk about his mom now.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
Yeah,
Those are good.
Sorry, I just had to get a Kyle's Mother joke alarm in there. There will be several more, I'm sure.
I don't think that you're running a joke into the ground because you're a ginger and you have no soul.
Doesn't see
People
the
with short
irony in
torsos?
that.
I hate them.
Doesn't see the irony in it. That's why he's stupid. All right, I only have one.
Okay, give it.
This one, you guys are going to be shocked that this is in the honorable mention and not part of the list, but I'm adding it because it is not an available episode, and that is the Halcyon interview. I didn't put it in the moments because it's like only, a small amount of people got to hear it, and so I feel like it's kind of weird to put it on the list for that reason.
That's fair.
But it is an important moment in the show, and if it was available, it would probably be number one because that was such a fun interview. I don't know. This last interview we did was fantastic, too.
We're working on it. Oh, by the way, you heard at the beginning of this episode that we were going to put an interview in this episode? No, you already heard that one.
Yeah,
because that was a couple of days
February
ago.
7th episode.
Yeah, so
go listen to that if you haven't. It's really, really awesome.
Yeah, what are you doing listening to this first?
Turn this off. Go listen to that. It's way better.
And then come back or finish
listen
listening.
to both of them at the same time.
That's nuts.
If you can do that, you're a true pioneer.
Throw it on your TV and then keep the headphones in for this episode. That's what you should do. And just listen to them simultaneously.
Yes.
But yeah, that's why that's my honorable mention. But
good one.
All right, so Evan, you're going first.
Yeah, let's just go same time. Evan, me, you.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So my number 10 was already touched upon in Tom's honorable mentions, but that first episode for Tom that you were on.
Oh, look at that.
I wasn't there.
You weren't.
As a part of it speaking, but I downloaded it to listen to later because I'm like, I wasn't there, and at that time I was keeping up with us, which is impossible now. But I was like re-listening to all of the episodes I was even on. But I'm like, I'm not on this one. I got to hear what they're saying. Like, I've got to know what Tom thinks about this and this.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had like working that night or whatever. So I was like, let me listen to it.
You guys go back and listen to make sure like there's no issues and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't listen.
that's
to
what I
them.
do.
I haven't for months though.
I don't do it unless I'm.
I do it.
Thank God.
I don't do it unless I'm not on the show, and when I'm not on the show, I'm usually not in town, so it's something I listen to while I'm driving. All the time.
I listen like I normally log on to work fairly early, so like I'll listen to them when I'm like cranking away in the morning because it's my productive time. And
nice.
If I catch like an issue, like sometimes I'll text Brad and be like, "We got to turn Evan's mic up next time," or "I'm too loud," or
"I'm too high."
Yeah,
Brad, you're too drunk.
Yeah, Brad, too drunk.
We didn't hit the button enough. The alarm, it didn't go off enough.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we missed the misogyny button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love the evolution of that panel from that episode where we're at now. Like the soundboard is just skyrocketed.
Just evolving in general, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just a show evolution. Like
The show to me has had 4 phases. It's 5. It's had me by myself.
Mhm.
It's had me and Josh. It had me and Alex, and then me and Josh.
That's 3 so far.
Me and Evan by ourselves, and then now
It's
the
4
full
or 5.
council.
Yeah.
So I truly think the phases with you guys here are the best, and then second to that, because the show was different when it was me and Alex. It was more serious and like more, talking about the stuff. We get distracted and talk about Metallica and Kyle's mom and shit. It's just.
What do you mean we're not serious?
There's just something.
We are
about
the
show
most serious show.
that kind of feels like sometimes
well,
it's a
fuck
little
you too.
immature. I don't know what you want from me. I think this is the best version of the show because it's
I agree.
It's the best version of who we are. I mean, this is who we are.
I think Phase 6 is the best version of the show.
Phase 6, the next one is that
Yeah.
is that Marvel's phase?
Is this the
Right?
multiverse where we have like
That is the worst version
I end
of
up
the
in like
show.
a different universe on like a different show. Brad stays here.
There's another universe where Tom and he's not redheaded.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
So Kyle doesn't have anything to make fun of him for.
Yeah. Kyle's in a mental institution.
Kyle's
what do I
5'6". He's a little taller than he is now. But let's make no mistake, Kyle. There is no universe where you're actually tall. Okay, that doesn't exist in time and space.
It does not.
Fuck you, Kyle. You're an idiot.
There it was. The perfect
That was really good
Brad
timing.
was
I don't
about
know
to
how
say
the hell
it.
we did that.
That was not set up.
But that was my number 10. So
perfect.
go on to Mr. Tom's number 10.
My number 10. Let's see here. Let's go to my list. So I didn't number these. I like to go kind of. All right. So even though this wasn't an episode, when we did the tortilla slap challenge, that's
Yes.
so because it came out okay. I want to do it again.
I was still so confused from that whole night, but Austin's going to be here next time. He has to be involved.
I'm gonna
because,
kick
yeah,
his
you
ass.
talk so much mess about him.
Like
Both of you talk so much mess about Austin.
I'm doing
so.
6 days a week in the gym again, just because of you, Austin.
6
Yep.
days.
or 6.
God damn,
A
dog.
6 a days.
Does it count if you walk in, pick up a dumbbell, and leave? Like, that's one.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
6 times a week, specifically just to train for Austin.
That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
all.
Yep.
I'm in there
you
slapping
doing,
the
like-
tortilla against the boxing.
Rotating your hips.
I am. Yes, rotate, smack.
Yeah.
Rotate, smack.
Oh my gosh.
But no, the tortilla slap challenge. We did it just outside my place. We had somebody stop and watch, just slapping each other. Like I remember like I created a GIF or GIF, whatever the hell they are, of me slapping Kyle real hard. Where it
Do
came
you
up.
have that for real?
Yeah.
You made it?
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Love it.
So
Yeah.
fun stuff. Brad, what's your number 10?
My number 10 is the episode we did called Hey Mando, Chapter 16, The Rescue, and it debuted on December 18th, 2020. And I think that was a you and me episode.
It was.
Tom
Yes.
was here.
Because I was shocked at how early y'all got it. Because I was at the gym at like the next morning, or the day of, I think. And I was like, damn, it's up already? Because normally you guys would up 3 weeks between episodes.
Sometimes.
We didn't have
yeah.
a schedule back
Yeah.
then. That's when I lived an hour away, so like
He
it was
lived
impossible.
an hour away. I was still, I wasn't with Disney at that point. But
No.
Yeah.
during
It
the
was-
time that we
that
were
was fresh
doing the
stuff.
show,
Schedules
I
were so
still
hard back
was.
then.
And it was hard, like, managing all that.
Some
but
nights I would just sleep like on the couch and wake up at like 6 a.m. to watch Mando with him.
Yeah.
Because like
Oh,
I didn't want to
okay.
drive back home.
That makes
and
sense
drive
why
back here.
you
Like,
did that then.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times he did that.
yeah,
I missed it. That was fun.
it was a ton of fun.
Now you live across the street, and I see you less.
Yeah, it is weird. It's because
Yeah,
I was in a house full of people that hated me and I hated them.
I
It
remember
was just
that.
15 people that
Yep.
hated each other. It was great.
That was back when he was coaching.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was the best of times and,
And
the worst of times.
But yeah, I love that episode. Go back. We were so jazzed. We were like,
Yeah, dude.
holy shit. I
remember that,
I
yeah.
remember being like, the intro was like, what's up, guys? Jedi Talk. Holy shit.
Let's get into it. Go.
This just
Spoilers.
happened.
Spoilers
Like,
now.
it
Like,
was like so frantic.
We
That
didn't
was
even bother spoiler free. Like
That's-
this happens.
one of my favorite moments in Star Wars of all
Yeah.
time, and being able to like capture the the genuine excitement of just seeing it was just such a cool thing for the show.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite moments.
Yep.
The whole episode's great. It's fun.
Yeah, it was. But that brings up that you said you were downloading it like in the gym, but that
Yep.
brings up the fact that like you and I both were listeners of the show
Right.
before we got on the show.
Absolutely were.
So like I
So
don't
if you guys listening now and you want these guys replaced, just hit me up.
exactly. It's how it
No.
goes.
No.
But like I don't remember exactly when I found the show, but I just remember listening to the show for at least
I was
after The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for your Force Awakens days.
No.
But I was there for Last Jedi
Last
days.
Jedi. We've told the story before. I'm sure. Is it on your list of how we met?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
talk
so we'll
about it
get
when
there.
we to it
We'll get there. And so that brings me to my number 9.
There you go.
Was just recently. It wasn't this moment that you're talking about, but my number 9 is recently when Brad got to go to Celebration, but not just as a guest, not just a cool fan checking out all the cool stuff. He participated in Star Wars Celebration and represented all 3 of us with
That's
his
right.
amazing panel on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and
We
the House
recorded a
again.
podcast the second night, which was day 1 at Celebration.
Yes.
Into that one, didn't
Yes.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I
for,
forgot about
for
that.
a little while, yeah.
But
The
and
worst
it
That was
was
from my
in the
place.
world.
It was the first panel of Celebration since
Technically,
the
yeah.
Chicago Celebration.
2019.
So,
yeah.
you kicked off the new Celebration, and you
Hear that?
represented us.
That's why they hate
met-
us.
yes,
Maybe.
that's why.
I remember sitting in that room and dude, we're talking 2 minutes to me starting, and there were 3 people in that room.
It filled up though, but
It filled up like with. I'm not bullshitting it. It filled up within like 50 seconds.
Good.
I mean,
Yeah.
The problem. I don't know if I've told this on the show, but the problem was they had told people there was going to be a standby line for the Obi-Wan
Oh.
panel,
Mm.
and then there wasn't. So they dissipated the crowd
Oh.
before they let everybody in because ours started
It's
30 minutes
nerve-wracking.
before.
Even
Yeah.
Ours started 30
even
minutes
if I was
before.
there as a host, I would have got out of the host to go wait in line for Obi-Wan. I would have been like, Brad, you got this. And
I
then,
was
like,
disappointed when I found out that I was the first one back, but now it's kind of a cool thing. Like
Yeah, dude,
first,
super cool.
first panel post.
Oh, right.
And
I
it's-
could see that.
Because I was
yeah.
like, because I had worried about that because like there's just a lot of miscommunication.
Mhm.
Well,
at
you knew they're going to
Celebration.
put those types of shows like first.
First.
You're going to be first, second, third,
Yeah.
something like that.
So,
yeah.
but it's just like you're going up the big panel of the day, and like you get in once,
Right.
like you can't really kind of go in and out of those arenas. So
Right.
But that was it's oddly not on my list because I don't count it as a podcast moment. 'cause
Yeah.
I did it by myself, and
Yeah.
I feel like if you guys had been there, I feel like it would have been a podcast moment.
No,
But
I
we
like
were with
how-
you though, because like we helped you
Oh
prepare
yeah,
it.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
like,
yeah.
for sure.
That's the only time I've ever seen you like worried and nervous. You're like, I don't know, this is gonna suck. Like I'm worried about this. I'm
Oh,
like,
right, yeah.
you did not need to be. I'm like, you're
Nah.
fine. You're gonna kill it, and
I
you
just
killed
am
it.
still
I've watched
shocked
it
to
a few
this-
times.
I'm still
Like,
shocked to this day. I talked for an hour on.
I'm not.
I mean, I know you guys are not, but like, it's hard for me to stay focused. You guys know that.
Well, you
That's
didn't have
fair.
anyone like me to unfocus you to drag you
I,
away.
don't- I could distract myself. I mean,
Yeah.
One of the superpowers of ADHD is something you really like. You could truthfully
Hyper-focus on.
hyper-focus,
And that's
on.
what happened.
So the next time Celebration is here in the States, we're all going to go.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
there's 2 panels I want to do. I want to redo the Galaxy's Edge one with all of us there. Because hopefully by then there's been some changes and some updates and that kind of stuff. And then there's another one that I want to do, and we've talked about it before.
Oh yeah. The one for the big thing in the sky.
Yep, the Millennium
Yes.
Falcon. Yeah,
That's
so
no moon.
I wanna do
The Chinese spy balloon that wasn't a spy balloon.
Yeah.
That was distracted us from something. Hit the button.
Look, we got distracted again. Look at that.
Hi, Mecca, hiney ho.
So,
All
Tom,
right.
what's your number 9?
Good question, Evan. What is my number 9? I missed a call from my father, but I know what he's calling about, so that's
You
okay.
good?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're fixed on it. They're coming out here in the summer.
Oh, cool.
So we're
Okay.
we're getting some dates down. This
Around
one's
August?
no. June. This was higher up in my list, as in lower. I don't know what you consider higher, lower, whatever.
High
it
is
is.
number 1, lowest 2.
Okay, so then lower on my list. Yeah, duh, that makes sense. Lower on my list because the episode's not out yet, but simply, thanks, Kyle's mom, there may not have been a time I laughed harder
There wasn't.
in my life on this podcast.
Yeah.
I had a Sal moment, a Sal Volcano moment. I slipped down into this chair and fell. I laughed
you
so
did.
fucking
It
hard.
was a good one. It
Yep.
was just so funny that like he knew.
He took off with it, and then like he signed our picture that way.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, hopefully, we've.
Hashtag free Jedi talk.
Ooh.
I'm serious about that.
Free my boys.
My boys.
My boys.
My boys. Free Jedi talk.
He probably is not allowed to talk to us at all.
Yeah, maybe not.
Not
we'll
yet.
see.
People keep leaving the rate they're leaving.
Well, if they leave, then you have an opportunity, open
there's
chair on Jedi Talk.
There's another person who might be leaving who would like to do a show.
I assume that was going to happen when you sent that to us.
And
Yeah.
we are getting on the ship before they leave.
I've been talking to that person, and there's a lot she could tell
Yeah.
if she got on the show. If they got on the show.
Salacious Crumb?
Gaia herself. No.
Salacious Crumb, that gender is fluid for him and her.
I assume.
Salacious,
Yeah.
they jump up and down. Sometimes they're they, sometimes
All right, where we
Salacious
at?
is that.
Is it me?
On your number 9, Mr. Brad.
My number 9 is having Jim Hill on the podcast in October of 2020.
Absolutely.
To talk the past, present, and future of Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
And
That was huge.
I
dude.
think I remember
love
that episode. Yeah,
It was a
listened
good
as
one.
Fan, yeah.
It was a great one. I highly recommend you go back and listen to that. Jim Hill is a wealth of knowledge, friend of the show. And that was one of my favorite episodes because there was so much that they were about to pull the trigger on, and then the pandemic just ruined everything. They were going to give us some stuff that they had been promising us in the past.
Chinese name?
I was not expecting that. Holy shit.
I mean, you kind of just gave me a...
Holy shit, I'm about to have an asthma attack. That was so funny. Yeah, go listen to the show. Evan, what's your number?
Evan, number 8.
You good over
Welcome
there?
to Jedi Talk featuring
the last
only
episode of Jedi
only
Talk.
Tom Okery and Evan Boucher from here on out. I quit Fourth
Oh,
Mother
my
Box
gosh.
because Kyle sucks. Evan, what's your number 8?
My number 8 is actually the Rise of Skywalker trailer reaction that we did. That moment was crazy. I wish Tom would have been here for it. It would have been even crazier. But
That's all right. I was in San Diego when I watched that.
I just remember like jumping up and down on the couch, just yelling at the TV and wasting like an hour of our life watching football. And they like got done with the football game.
Shut up.
And they were like, "Are you ready for the trailer? Are you ready?" And we're like, "Yes, we're ready. We wasted so much time." Like,
It was you, me, and
shut
Josh,
up.
and it's crossover.
yeah, like,
Football
it
is fun for some of us.
for some people, yes. But I'm like, you've
Cranky
been teasing
day,
it for the past hour. Like, please show it to us.
We're getting
So they
a
finally
shit ton
did.
of trailers. Speaking of on Super Bowl,
Yes,
tons of them. You see all those?
I forgot them, but yes, there's a bunch announced.
If you give me a second,
Indy has one, I know.
I can.
Mermaid has another one.
Do you want me to read them off real quick?
Yeah,
Brad?
go for it.
Yeah. Sorry, Brad was
No, I'm good. I'm like
catching
I'm
his
actually
life over
genuinely
there.
dying.
Genuinely dying. Okay. We
I
got
have asthma. I don't have my inhaler.
Fast X.
Oh God, who gives a fuck?
Fast X. Whoops, that's
Who's
the
your-
wrong Evan.
who's your-
Oh, do not play that music for
Who's
that.
your listener of Fourth Mother Box who loves
Mike Norrat,
Mike Norrat? Fuck you, Mike.
the revolting blob.
You should be upset with
I'm
yourself.
kidding. His name is the Turtle, the amazing turtle in all the independent wrestling federations. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, The Flash, which is number 1 on my list.
Cannot believe that movie's getting released.
James Gunn came out and gave a very confident, one of the best superhero movies he's ever seen, thumbs up to it.
Sure.
I mean, I know he has to say that to an extent, but he did say that he was going to employ Andy Muschietti.
So if it's as good as it is, why are you rebooting everything?
Well, it'd still be a good movie, and the reboot is, at this point, because what he said WB did to Henry Cavill, and I'm going to talk more about this weekend, they dicked him around. He said, he's like, Henry got dicked around, and everything was fucked, and it pissed off some WB execs who are still there who didn't get fired. So it's like he had no choice but to reset that universe. He really did. So we're going to see. You know, I'm looking forward to The Flash. The Super Mario Brothers movie, we're getting another trailer there.
Not necessary.
The other Mario Brothers movie?
Another trailer for it. I mean, like...
Oh, I agree. I mean,
like,
it's coming out in April, so...
Just leave it alone. Everyone's excited
Maybe
about
it's
it
the
already.
same one and just playing during the Super Bowl.
That would be a giant
Probably
waste
is.
of money.
Yeah, it'd be a giant waste of money, actually. Little Mermaid.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yep.
you know the internet's going to burn.
It already is.
I'm not looking forward to the comments on that.
Scream 6.
It's going to be a lot of racist shit so long as a fucking fictional character.
I know.
Let me tell you off air something about Mermaid, too, so
Okay.
it's going to be fun.
Scream 6. Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves.
Is this our first look at Little Mermaid, by the way?
No.
No, they've done like a teaser.
did
That was
that
her
teaser from
singing. Like,
D23.
Yeah, she
like,
sang.
Yeah,
That's right.
And
I
people
forgot
were
about
pissed
that.
about how she sang that part.
even though it was great. Like,
I don't know if it was great, but it was not
not-
bad.
yeah,
Just imagine
I don't
being
know
an
if I'm
adult
down for
bitching
that.
about the color of a mermaid. Like, I
that
just
sentence
can't
makes you sound not you, but that person sounds so
I
stupid.
just can't fathom.
You know what I
caring.
don't ever understand, and I feel the same way about the OG trilogy fans. It's like, what's because they're always like ruining my childhood. It's like, no, the other version of your childhood is still
exists.
there.
It's
and
still
you
there.
still
You
watch
can
it
have fun and
40
watch
years
that.
ago. Yeah,
Slave Leia bikini wearing dicks in your grandma's basement. Go watch episode 4, 5, and 6 then.
Listening to Jedi talk in 1999. You
Yeah.
pieces of shit.
You pieces of shit. Hit the button.
Hit the button.
So, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, which I'm very,
Wait,
very interested.
there's a new Transformers movie.
It's the
Yes,
rebooted
it's about the
version.
Beast Wars.
Isn't it the reboot version?
I'm so
I-
confused.
Bumblebee
no.
universe.
Oh, maybe, but this is Beast Wars. Like, I loved Beast Wars as a kid. Pixar's Elemental.
Interesting. We haven't seen anything from that yet, have we?
Just one short.
Yeah,
clip.
just like a quick short.
I don't remember
them
anything
walking
about
through
it.
like a subway, and that's it.
I don't remember that at
Yeah.
all. Oh,
We-
did that come out of D23?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got Indiana Jones and the Dial of
Yes.
Destiny.
Shut the fuck up.
Can't be worse than the first trailer they put out.
It can't be worse than the fourth movie either. But
That trailer was
Kyle's
bad.
punching air right now.
That trailer was bad, and he
I know.
knows it's bad.
You and Kyle got into it when all 4 of us were in different states.
He knows it's
yeah,
One
bad.
that
night
was
we
funny.
recorded,
We're on
yeah.
the phone.
Yeah.
He knows it's bad. He's just blinded because he loves Indiana Jones so much, and that's okay. But you know that's not an objectively good trailer. You just really want the movie to be good, and I'm sure it will be. But that trailer does not represent the quality of the film.
That's fair. That's fair.
Led Zeppelin's better, you fuck.
There's a ton of trailers. You're still going?
Yeah,
Holy
3
cow.
more. The Marvels, Creed 3, and John Wick Chapter
The
4.
fuck is the Marvels?
Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel.
Oh.
That's a thing.
Speaking of the internet burning, can't
Oh my
wait
God,
for
I
all the
haven't even
idiots.
heard of this.
I'm not going to watch it because I don't
I
care.
just heard
but-
of it.
Yeah.
I had never.
I knew it was
I've
coming.
never heard of it
Trust
either.
me.
I've
I'm
never
keeping
heard of it
tabs
either.
on the thing Brie Larson does. I won't stop breathing until she stops. I'm kidding.
Keep breathing.
That's a lot of trailers. Holy cow! I've only heard of like 5 of those things.
She's
And
getting like
I
super
only,
lean.
I only care like
with her
about
training
3 of
and
those
diet.
things.
Really?
Yeah, she looks different. I'm not saying it's bad. She just looks like leaner and
I think she's gorgeous. And that's like a common thing that people don't like. I think she's very attractive.
okay. So we got way off bat. So
Yeah,
you
we
were
did.
you
That's
were
a
on
ton of
Rise of
trailers.
Skywalker reaction, right?
Yeah, that was my number
8,
8.
right? Yeah. So we're down to my number 8. My last one was Thanks, Kyle's Mom, which hopefully you guys will get to hear. # free Jedi
A few
Talk.
of you have heard it. Austin,
Yeah.
you've heard it. You loved it.
That's right. Number 8 is an episode of Fourth Mother Box. I put a couple of Fourth Mother Box times on here. Brad, you were actually on this episode.
I know one of them has to be one
yeah,
of these.
yeah. This one was we were talking to Kyle just about places to go at Disney, and Kyle he made the worst mistake of his life by saying he took his mom to Via Napoli. And then both Brad and I at the same fucking time told the same joke.
Did you
and
say,
said,
"So did I"?
We've also taken your mom
Yep.
to Via Napoli, and I cracked the fuck up. Like,
remember
so
that.
that's a number
Did you
8
two
moment
go
of my life.
together with her, or was that 2 separate
Two
dates?
separate.
Two
individual
separate.
Two
dates.
separate.
Okay.
We're not Eiffel Towering Kyle's mom.
Button. There it is.
Also, because of the California. Had to get the double dose treatment there.
A double dose because you were on that date together, like a double.
She got a double dose.
Oh,
On a gravy.
Brad,
But a sauce over at the
baby better, baby.
Brad, what's your number 8?
Now that I can breathe again. My number 8 is getting my media credential for Star Wars Celebration the first time.
There you
I
go.
will never forget getting that email. I had no hopes of getting it. I had just been doing it for like 6 to 7 months at that time. I had, or maybe a year, but like I hadn't been doing the podcast long at all. And when I got that email, I mean, like it, because it was right down the street. I was like, "Holy shit, this is gonna be incredible!"
Yeah.
I get to go. Like,
You can go sleep in your own bed.
yeah.
It's good shit.
And I'd never done a convention before. Period. And like,
That's crazy. Yeah.
having it to be this media thing was like such a cool moment. I'll never forget how that felt. It was really, really cool.
Nice. Good. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It also sucked. That was the day I found out that Charlie Murphy died, which was sad. But,
Oh,
yeah,
Speaking
that was so fucking fun.
that's cool.
And it's all thanks to people who listen to the show. So like,
Awesome. Yeah,
all
fuck
these
yeah.
moments, like we got to remember too. Like, it's all because people listen. And
That's
like,
right,
we
yeah.
really appreciate you guys listening to the podcast, and it's because of you guys I was able to get to go do media and be in the room and meet Ryan Johnson and see all these cool trailers and see John Williams perform Leia's theme right after she passed away.
Oh
And, like,
yeah, man.
I will never forget Orlando Celebration ever.
Nah, I wouldn't either.
It was incredible.
Yeah,
That's
I wouldn't
it.
either.
Evan, number 7.
7, yeah. Evan 7.
Seven.
my
Evan.
number 7 is something that definitely couldn't have happened without the listeners, the people that actually, for some reason, waste hours of their days listening to us. But they gifted us with an amazing VIP tour. We just did this summer, all 3 of us.
a good one.
Man, that was something I've always wanted to do
Yeah.
and didn't know if I ever could. But
They get
and
their
it was
shirts,
with
yeah.
friends too, especially.
I thought about that today and I forgot to text her. But
Okay.
I would assume they'd have at this point.
I
would hope
probably
so.
would have gotten a text, I think.
I would
by-
hope
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, that
I'll
said.
actually, let me.
All right.
But that was incredible. That was the first and only time all 3 of us have done rides together. Because of
Tis true.
schedules and waiting in line, like it's just impossible to do. So we
Tis
finally
true.
did it together. Just a VIP tour guide, especially during, even though the 50th, a whole different conversation. During the 50th, we got to do it. How cool is that?
I actually almost put your episode of you complaining about the 50th
You should
as an
have.
episode.
You should have. That's every
I had it
episode,
and I
though. What are you
deleted
talking
it.
about?
Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. So, speaking of the 50th, my number 7 is the 50th anniversary episode that we did in Old Key West.
Such a good
Oh,
one.
that was
like a-
should have been. That's a good.
That
one.
was like a 3-hour. It's just a fun episode because we were on Disney property. This was like Christmas night for us because all 3 of us really, really were looking forward to the 50th anniversary.
Yep.
I had just moved to Florida, so I was like jonesing about the buzz. There was a buzz going around. It was a Thursday night. There was a buzz. We were going, or it was a Wednesday night.
I think it was Wednesday.
It was Wednesday.
Wednesday night. Okay, yeah, we were going. We were going to the place we were going to the next day. Stuff was coming up, stuff was happening, and this is probably one of the only good things of the 50th, right? Outside of some of the merch and
Spaceship Earth.
Cosmic
and-
Rewind. Yeah,
Spaceship Earth.
Yeah.
The
And the
beacon
Halcyon.
light thing, the Halcyon.
That's about it.
Yeah. What a
But all those
lackluster
things-
fucking celebration.
all those. But my problem with the 50th, and I'll harp on this last negative, and I'll get to the positive more of this show. My thing about that is like they brought all those things back that were supposed to be before the 50th. Like, remember Epcot
As
was
thing-
supposed to be done for the 50th,
Yeah,
Which we're
like,
still bringing things back to this day. Like this week, we're like
And
this
taking
new
away.
thing came back. Yeah,
for the 50th. We'd taken away Trails End.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, don't even.
But that night that we did regale our favorite tales of Disney
Yeah.
and going to Disney, like everything that you guys talked about, Disney World was born from that show.
oh, that was
I love
show.
that.
that was
that was
Disney
that
World,
show.
and we
Disney
laughed
World.
so hard.
That was a great one.
So, Brad, what's your 7?
My number 7 are y'all's first episodes. I did them as one, so we wouldn't have 2
fuck
separate
yeah.
ones.
I'm sharing a
It's
fucking
crossover
number
with
with you.
mine.
You're gonna share number 7, actually.
you.
I'll happily share with you,
Wrong
Tom.
part of the show.
Happily.
Damn, boy!
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
Hey, Dick!
Hey, Jack.
Tom's first episode was on June 21st, 2021,
Yep.
and Evan's first was September 7th, 2019.
More
It
or
was the
less.
first appearance on the show.
More or less. Yeah.
That was our conversation we had about Galaxy's Edge opening day at
Yes.
Baseline Tap House.
Yeah.
That's what I was
it was
thinking about.
released that day, recorded on August 29th.
That's right.
We'll get there. It's on my list too. We'll get there.
Yeah, that's the first one
Surprise.
that we did, and that was with you, me, and Kevin. But Kevin didn't talk.
Not really. Yeah.
He just sat there.
He was like,
"That was good.
That was good conversation."
I was into it, man. I tell you what, buddy, I was into that thing.
I miss the hell out of Kevin.
I
haven't seen him in like
you
almost 2.5, 3 years.
You should text him.
I've messaged him before. I just haven't seen him in so long.
I love that dude so much.
Oh my gosh.
We hung out and talked for like 4 hours a few weeks ago, and it was so much fun.
That's incredible.
Just getting to hang out with him.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, those episodes were fantastic, and the show's come a long way since then.
Yeah. Kevin's no longer with us going, I'm into it.
I'm into it, man. I tell you what, man. I got my fucking annual pass, buddy.
He's still alive, just for the people.
Oh, yeah, he
wondering.
didn't
The
die.
way,
No, he's
the way
not
Evan
with us
said
at
that,
this
I was
moment.
Like,
He's
Jesus,
yeah.
tap dancing
I
Christ.
wish he was with us.
I think I wish he was dead.
No, wow. I said I miss the man. I miss the dude. Like, anyhow, what's my name? What are we
number
on?
6?
Number 6. Not the episode we recorded after Mandalorian Chapter 16, The Rescue, but watching it with you, seeing you like jump out off the couch, like almost crash into the TV and just like lose it was. I mean, I was losing it too, but like that was a different level. Just seeing you do it, and I was like,
I lost it. That was so.
That's
exciting.
the feeling that we all chase. That's why we love Star Wars.
Yep.
That for those moments.
Yep.
We don't get them. I'm not saying we don't get them often, but like we don't get them daily. But we get those moments. That's why we love Star
I
Wars.
think season 3 of Mando is going to have a few moments like that.
I think so too. I don't know if you can top that for you,
You're not
especially.
gonna be able to top Luke for me, but
Yeah.
you're gonna there are some real potential for some really holy fuck moments going.
Oh,
forward.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the thing that Christian Harloff had Katie Sackhoff on?
No, I
on
didn't
his
see that.
podcast?
No.
Let me pull it up.
Ooh.
She had her on, and he was like, "I want to get your." He goes, "I know you can't talk about the show, but I want to just get your initial reaction to this poster." And it was like the Mando outside of the speeder holding the Darksaber.
I
Yeah.
can't wait to see the two of them battle. God damn.
Oh, yeah.
Bo-Katan versus Din Djarin.
It actually like
Bo should fuck him up.
hang on,
I think she's definitely a better warrior.
She's a much better
like
warrior.
Din just survives just because he has Beskar.
Right.
Like he's not that great of a warrior. He's always just like throwing his body into
Yeah.
stuff head first. Like doesn't even care.
Hey, he's a brawler. He's a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
We're gonna have a reaction to Katie. Katie has not seen the poster yet. At this point, it come out a couple weeks ago, but she hasn't seen it. So I'm gonna get Katie's reaction to this poster. This was released today.
Like in real time.
In real time today, so we can post this potentially on social media today. But this, when they see it on the show, it's a weird thing. So here we go. Here it is. That's the shot.
I'm like, get your hands off my Darksaber.
Right?
Did you see her reaction?
Yeah.
She looked confused, and I don't think she's acting.
It is a
Because-
weird poster. Like he's like flying away from an explosion or something.
No,
like I don't.
To me, her reaction was like, "Why the fuck would they show that?" Like, and I don't know if that means like why are like that's misleading
I don't know.
or
You can't
like,
get a lot from a poster.
It might have just been.
But
it
she
also
knows the
could-
story. Is my point.
Yeah, she knows what
Well,
is there.
does she know the story? It's like some of this shit they don't tell these
Maybe
people.
she
true.
thought she
That
was
is
fighting
true.
Kia, or what's the Plo Koon? She thought she was fighting Plo Koon. Not
Yeah,
Din.
Mando's like a big secret on set. Now you don't bring
Yeah.
Mando in.
Yeah.
Or she's being a professional and acting like Bo-Katan. And be
Could
like,
be. I thought it
Yeah.
was interesting. Like I was.
It
like,
is.
Oh, of
'cause
course it's
her
interesting,
Face was
yeah.
like,
Yo, we have like what 3 weeks?
like maybe
It's coming, man, so soon.
Maybe they like told her Bo-Katan keeps the Darksaber and film shit afterwards.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Maybe.
And maybe that's why she was like, "What the fuck? How does he have the Darksaber?"
Yeah.
Do you guys want to go back to Bo, or do you want him to keep it?
I don't want either of them, honestly.
I want her to get it, and I want him
I want
to be
her
able
to
to
get it,
I
yeah.
want her to be him to be okay with her having it, and I want him and
he is,
Grogu to go
yeah.
do.
I don't want
stuff.
this version of Bo to
I
get it.
want-
She has to grow to get it.
I
Oh,
want,
she will.
I
Yeah.
want Mandalore to make a return. Like I
Yes.
want
Oh, it will. We're going
to
there.
be.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, like thriving as a society.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That only happens if you have Bo get it, because Mando's not going to give a fuck about the Mandalorians.
Yeah. Man.
I don't think. I mean, he might. I don't think he would.
I think Bo cares more than he does, especially because he doesn't really know everything about Mandalore. Like he just thinks you have to be this cultist, and that's Mandalore, but it's not. Like there's so much more.
Right.
But anyway, that Luke moment, how we got on that tangent.
Sorry, it happened.
I don't know if that can be topped in season 3, but like we talk about it all the time. We're gonna do it one day, a top 100 Star Wars moments.
Oh, yeah.
This Luke moment in Mando
That's
is
going
gonna
to
be
require like us getting together for a few hours and like planning it out in
Yeah.
segments of like 100
Yeah.
to 75 to 100.
Yeah.
We
And,
should
like,
we all should just like make our own top 100 and then compare them and
That
be
seems
like,
like
let's
that would be
move
way
this
more
here,
work.
move this here.
I think that'd be way more work. I think I don't know. Maybe do it 25 at a time.
Do we start 100 and go down to 1? Or do we say, here's my number 1, let's go back from there?
No, we start 100 to 1.
Okay.
I almost think it would be cool, truthfully, for all three of us to do this list by ourselves.
You think so?
Yep, and then do episodes. We'll do 100 to 75. We'll break them down in 4 quarters.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll all say, here's my 100, here's Tom's 100, here's Brad's.
Yeah, here's your 100 to 75, 100 to 75, 100, and then next episode.
Really?
Yes.
That's a lot.
I know, but we tease the episodes. Like, we have 4 in total. We'll have 4 in total. Each one of us, and you're going to get different things from us. It'll spark conversation.
Yeah, that's going to be...
I like that.
That's, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Those are going to be special episodes coming up.
May the 4th.
I love it.
Yeah, why not?
We'll start it off on May the 4th.
Mando will be done by then. So, like, Mando's gone.
Or...
Bad Batch is gone. So
we set it up to May the 4th is 25 to 1.
Yeah.
That episode, May the 4th, is the penultimate episode.
25 to 1 greatest moments in Star Wars history.
Yeah. You guys are getting a lot of the behind-the-scenes action here at Jedi Talk.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what you come to the show for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does make more...
Hit the...
Hold on, that one's way
That's
down
what
here.
you come to the show for.
All right, where are we at?
My number 6. My number 6 was in this garage. It was a Fourth Mother Talk Scott Ford show. It was Fourth Mother Box 1 year. And earlier in the day, Brad had texted me and said, I have this idea. Will Smith had just got done slapping Chris Rock for saying something about his wife.
I forgot about this.
So Brad goes, I'm going to ask you something about Courtney, and then just get up and come slap me as hard as you want to. I said, I'm down. So
I was like, you have to hit me. It has to be convincing.
Yes.
You don't have to tell me twice. And
my reaction has to be in here. Go ahead. Yeah.
Evan didn't know, so he was like,
knew.
"Whoa, what's going on?" Scott didn't know. Kyle didn't know. Courtney knew because I knew if I didn't tell her,
she was here. Right?
She was here with Winston. So Evan was just like thinking he was about to break up a fight or something.
I'm like, I'm gonna die. I can't hold back either of you. Like, what's gonna happen?
So I just got up, slapped Brad, and everyone laughed.
Keep my wife's name out of
it.
It's
good times had by
I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you...
Right? And I was like, what?
And then when you said it, I just started laughing.
Yeah.
I just started dying.
The laugh saved me because I'm like, okay.
That's what it was.
That was a great episode. That was funny.
It was a fun episode. Yeah. What was
Scott was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Scott's probably like, what did I get myself into?
I think we said it afterwards, but I'm like, I wish this wasn't a visual. I wish it was a visual media because you could see my face and how dumbfounded I looked.
Yeah.
Even more so than usual.
I should have filmed it like this.
Just like
knowing
sneakily had your phone up and like.
That's true. You'd be like, hey, we're at Jedi Talk, and then whack. What's number 6?
My number 6 is the very first episode of Jedi Talk on August 9th of 2016. So we've been doing the show 6.5 years.
Dang.
So still rocking and rolling, man. It's been fun, but those episodes are. Go back and listen to some of the ones I recommend. Don't go back and listen to this one. It's terrible. I started it today, and it's just like
I'm muffled like this, and everything sounds like this. And there's Star Wars music playing behind Harvey.
Go listen to the first Fourth Mother Box. It was terrible. It was. You'll be shocked at this, but the first Fourth Mother Box, I opened up with a quote that the Joker had from the end of Zack Snyder's Justice League, because that's where the podcast, bred from, and then silence, and then you there? You there?
So fitting.
I'm so shocked.
Yeah. So it's everybody's first podcast. It's terrible.
That's awesome.
But I should have known better because I was doing the other one at the time.
Whatever.
It was still terrible. But I just also didn't know enough about Star Wars to warrant me having a Star Wars podcast at the time. I knew a little bit, but my knowledge has grown a lot.
I mean, that's the same with me. Like, Force Awakens came out, and I'm like, I loved the originals, and I liked most of the prequels. Had some complaints, but overall, I still like them. But I was like, not reading all the comics. I wasn't listening to all these podcasts. I wasn't reading books, and I was just like, okay, I like Star Wars. But in those 6 years, look how far we've come. Like, we are the biggest nerds you're going to meet.
Well, you're like the biggest example of that. I mean,
like,
you've
come even
at all until the Force Awakens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
wild.
I cared,
but like not.
Like, I cared enough to be like, all right, I want to see it the day it drops. Kyle was out here. We'll go to our favorite movie, Studio Movie Grill up in Scottsdale, and then pretty much took over from there.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But back then, like, I hadn't even watched Rebels or anything yet. Like, I couldn't tell you Inquisitors or anything like that. But like, here we are today, and I can tell you names of Inquisitors and like where they're from, and like it's
wild. All right, who's next?
Evan's number 5.
Number 5 already.
Halfway through the top 10.
Dang. Brad already touched on it, but the opening day of Galaxy's Edge. Whoa there. I said touch on it.
I did touch on it.
Well, that's true. Whatever it is. Hit a button. I don't care which one.
All right, hit a button. You don't care which
random
one?
Random button. Okay, there we go.
Should have been a Cosmic Rewind song.
No, but I know he doesn't like the X-Men either.
Same
so
thing. They're both weird universes of Marvel
You're
that I don't care about.
Crazy
like
you don't care about the X-Men.
I've only seen Deadpool. It's the only X-Men movie I've seen, and it's great. But the other ones, I'm like, I don't even know
Go
who
back
you
and
are.
watch the '90s series, and then watch the '97 series revival when that comes out. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be real good.
That's good shit.
I think
That's
it's
like
going to be
Amazing
good
Spider-Man
if you
level good.
like
No.
them, but I don't like them, so I don't care.
You don't even know if you don't like them. You haven't watched it yet.
I guess that's true. I've had all these chances in my life to watch them, and
You
I've
should.
never been like, I got to go see this. I'm always
X3
like,
you can fucking skip, but X1 and 2 are really good.
Triple
And
X?
No, not Triple X. Those movies are terrible.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Yeah. Brown chicken bow.
But no, I think you should give X1 and X2 a shot.
I might.
Have you seen
but I won't.
Logan?
No.
That's the best. That's the best.
What in the hell is going on here?
That's one of the best comic
That was
movies
before
ever.
they were canon to the MCU, so I didn't care.
It was canon to the X-Men universe,
but I
though.
also didn't care.
That's fair. That's fair.
But now that it's all kind of canon, but not, I really don't care. So it's like,
You gotta see that movie. That movie is one of the best comic book movies of all time. Period. It doesn't get enough. It got a lot of praise at the time, but I don't feel like people
it
talk
did though.
about it
You're
now.
right. Like it's kind of died down in
I'm
praise.
telling you, man, that movie is fucking phenomenal.
Yes. Yeah. I need to go back and watch it.
I haven't watched it since I saw it, but dude, goddamn that movie. Oh no, I saw it twice. That movie's fantastic. That movie's really, really good.
It's truthfully good.
It's like, you know how like Batman, Dark Knight is like regarded as like one of the, it's right up there.
Dang.
It's that good.
That's why
It's right up
high
there.
praise.
That's why
I'm telling you, man, it's really good.
I'm thrilled that James Mangold, who did that, has the helm of Indy
Jones.
5, and the rumor is he will be at the helm of the Swamp Thing horror movie.
That's a great combination.
That's a great combination.
It's a great combo.
So,
Noise.
Where are we at?
My number 5, right? Yeah.
Did you just do it?
Not
sorry,
not
you
really.
were
I was like,
starting
Brad touched upon it.
sorry, we're tangent tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Shit.
That's what we do. I love it. But the opening day of Galaxy's Edge, and I'll retell briefly the story of how it even happened. So, Brad's 30th anniversary of Hollywood Studios YouTube video, I watched because I went to that event, but I didn't see Brad. I didn't know Brad at the time, so I watched the video afterwards, and I commented because I saw myself walk past the frame of his video. So I commented, I was like, hey, that was me at 4 minutes and 26 seconds, or whatever it was.
Isn't that crazy?
And Brad is like, oh, man, you should have said hi. And I'm like, I didn't even see you because I was like beelining to whatever.
Right.
So from that moment, I, around that time, had started following his Instagram and Twitter and the podcast and stuff. So then come around to opening day of Galaxy's Edge on August 29th of 2019. I'm sitting there because I've been there since 5 a.m. or whatever. And I'm just sitting around waiting for my yogas at noon.
He'd already been into Oga 7 times by that point.
I wish. 3 times.
Give me another fuzzy.
So I'm waiting for my noon Ogas, and it's at 9 at this point, and Brad puts out a tweet, and he says, first person that likes or responds or whatever to this tweet will get to go to us to Ogas. I have an open spot. So I was like or comment or whatever I did, and that's it. So I went to Ogas with Brad, met him there, and from that point on, he realized I was a massive nerd and a complete doofus.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, let's go to Baseline. Let's talk about how cool Galaxy's Edge is. And then the rest is Jedi Talk history.
It is, and it was like the week after that, I was like, I remember talking to Holly, being like, I think I'm going to have him come on the show.
Yeah.
I was like, he knows Star Wars. He seems to be like, he's a good dude, I could tell. And yeah, rest is history, man.
Yeah, dude.
I regret that moment ever since.
So that was the first time I went to Ogas. You had been to Disneyland's Ogas,
Yep.
and you'd been to ours during previews and stuff,
Mhm.
but that was my first Ogas at 9 a.m., and then I went at noon, and then I went again at 6. So it was great.
This fool went 3 times in a day to Oga's.
Would do it again in a heartbeat.
Other people couldn't get in at all, and he's strolling in 3 to like, have you been in already?
Yep. All the bartenders like, you again? You know when the trooper, Evan. You know when the troopers are like, didn't we warn you to stay away from this sector? Like that's what the bartenders are like. They're like, didn't we already serve you 6 hours ago?
You called it about them characters at Night on Batuu. I experienced that head first the other
dude.
night. That was a lot of fun.
It's great.
That mug you got is sick.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, the new.
I like it or not.
yeah,
The-
I think
like the new one better than the old one.
me too.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think Evan got you got it first, didn't you?
Do you have it yet?
I don't have it. No.
Then yes, I did.
I'm getting it on my birthday.
I got mine
Oh, okay,
just
nice.
Saturday.
Yeah.
All right, my number 5. One of the earlier Fourth Motherbox episodes was about Harry Potter, and Courtney joined. That was the one and only episode she's ever joined fully. So doing that with my wife was really cool.
I thought you joined on the French one.
Oh yeah, she joined, but like
She was on it.
she
this
was
one?
on Fourth Motherbox. We sat on the couch when we were living in Phoenix, Kyle was on Skype. This is back when I recorded Skype. I had like a USB mic that I used that Courtney and I kept passing back and forth.
Okay.
So we talked about Harry Potter. It was great. I knew the least on the call. By the way, Hogwarts Legacy.
Dude, that game
downloaded on my PS5 right now. It's available midnight tonight.
You can download it and then it just becomes available.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking cool.
They allow it for 48 hours.
That game looks fucking awesome.
It looks tremendous.
Have you ever seen gameplay footage of it? Dude,
No,
it
I haven't
looks
watched anything.
crazy.
IGN gave it a 9.
They
Nice.
fucking hate everything
That's true.
except Kyle's mom.
They gave her an infinity out of 100 or 10, whatever that is.
They gave her a out of 10.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't
Son of
think
them
it's
busting.
directly related or even any way related. But do you think there's any connection to Fallen Order being pushed back? They're like, oh, let's let Hogwarts do its thing, and then
No.
we'll go. Yeah, I don't think so
No.
You
either.
don't think so?
Nah.
You
I don't
it
think
could
it's
affect
connected.
you don't think it could affect the sales numbers? I think
No.
it could definitely affect the sales
Gamers
numbers.
are going to game.
And
Gamers
nerds
buy
are
it.
gonna buy both no matter what. I think so.
You
Like,
think? I don't know. I think it could. I mean, I think that's why movies push shit back all the time. Is like they don't want to compete with another big one.
that's true. But
True,
like
but
movies
typically
live and
that-
die by like opening weekend was this. Games are like
Typically, that news comes out, and like I truly believe that they push Survivor back because
Of bugs.
of bugs.
yeah.
But anyway, to
Same.
finish that thought, just being the least one with knowledge about Harry Potter in there, I still knew a good amount. I still know a good amount. It was just cool to just do that show with Courtney because it was natural. You know, Kyle and I were finding our placement, so it was fun. It's a
I've done
core memory.
podcasts with Holly before, and it's so fun.
Yeah, I remember I listened to one of them on the way to Florida. You guys were talking about fests, I think, like favorite Epcot fests.
I
or
might have
something.
heard that one too. I've listened to a few with you and Holly.
Yeah.
They're fun. She's way better than she thinks she is.
Yeah, exactly.
But she like hates doing it, so it's like pulling
I get
teeth
it.
to get her to do
I get it. Yeah.
But it's fun.
What's your number 5?
My number 5 is our Halcyon conversations after we all went. Like the breakdown of all that. Once we
Kind of
like,
crossover with mine.
The one I did with you was really fun, but I just kept being like, I want to know the answer, but
I
I,
know.
don't want to know the answer. But it was still really fun.
And I'm
But
like, I'm
once we
not
were-
telling you.
Once we were able to
it's
all
like the
go-
only episodes I didn't listen to. I'm
You
like,
should go back and listen to them now that you've done it.
No, it's true. yeah.
One like we were able just to all talk about it and be like, spoiler alert, fucking let's go, and then like that
Yep.
was so much fun.
yeah.
I think that's all. Evan, what's your
I
number 4?
think that's all too. My
I
number
gave up
4.
halfway through that.
I kind of cheated with my number 4. I combined like all the interviews I've been a part of. So the Jim Hill interview was awesome because I've been listening to him as
That's
long
fair,
as I've been
yeah.
listening to you. I listened to his newest episode today. Like I listen to this guy all the time, and he knows so much about Disney. And I would just so that was crazy cool. And then the Lost episode, of course, which we've talked about, obviously one of the best interviews.
Hashtag free Jedi talk. Start
Yep.
using it.
So the Lost episode was great.
I'm not kidding.
Like we've said before, worst case scenario is we had an awesome conversation with a cool dude, but like I would like other people to hear it too. I would love that. What other interviews? We had the Kevin Shinnick interview.
Crossover. I knew you
That
were
was
gonna bring
awesome,
that up.
dude. That was my first moment on the show, I think, where I was like, oh, this is more than just us talking. Like, which is awesome. And if that's all it ever amounted to, I'm here for it. I love it. But the fact that I got to talk to a dude that wrote one of my favorite Star Wars books, it's in my top 5. Like, I love Force Collector.
I do too.
So, like, just to talk to him that recently, too, after I read it, it's like, that was incredible.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do this because they're one place different. So I just switched my 3rd and 4th place. I'll go ahead and talk about it.
All right, go for
Okay.
it.
Kevin Shinnick, when he came on, and the thing that I wrote down specifically was when he was telling us that he accidentally wrote episode 9.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and that story is so cool. Like,
Yeah.
I love and
Go
that was
back and
something
listen
that
to that, yeah.
never.
The fact that he,
really
like,
got
basically wrote
spread
an
around.
entire book and then had to
Rewrite
scrap it. Like,
because he wrote
insane.
the plot of episode 9.
Yeah.
So I mean that's crazy to me. But so yeah, that's my number 4. So when
Yeah.
you get to
That's
you
a
can just
great
go
one.
back to
Yeah,
that.
I will. That's a great number 4.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. There's never mind.
Do I have any? Was that all
There's
the
only one
interviews
thing
I've been
about
a
that
part
episode
of?
I didn't like.
Same, but this is the good stuff we're talking about. So yeah, those 3 interviews were incredible, and then now the 4th interview we just did. That you've already listened to out there. Great interview with the originator of Jedi Talk. Jedi Talk. Jedi Talk.
You say Jedi Talk?
Originator of
You said
Jedi.
Jedi.
Jedi Talk.
He's a
Yeah, that's a
janitor.
good.
Janitor talk.
There's a lot of N's in there that
Forrest
didn't really.
Gump podcast.
Yeah.
Yes,
Jedi
Jedi.
Life
Jedi
is like a
Jedi
box
talk.
of chocolate.
Jedi, it did in the world. But
Life's
So
like a
all the
box of
interviews,
chocolates.
man, all
You
the
open
interviews
it, you
have
might
been-
get AIDS.
You know what's funny
Amazing.
about my number 4? I think the one thing you didn't like may have led into my number 4.
I hope so. Oh, I know it
But
did.
the
Yes.
fish with the P
Yes,
joke
the
that
jokes.
he made
Yes.
when I was like,
Fish with a P?
oh, okay, so
Oh, you'll know what he's talking
so
about.
we
This
got-
was like a month ago.
yeah,
maybe.
I can't remember
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
how
yeah.
we got onto the topic,
I don't
but I
know.
was like, you said when I said was it fishy, and then Brad's like, no, that's not what we're talking about, and then Evan's like, well, both.
Yeah,
I
it was
just
both.
Laughed my fucking ass off.
That was great.
God, Evan, funniest thing you've ever said.
I'm good for a funny thing every now and then.
No,
You got
no,
the
you're-
fish joke and the Dinner Whirl, and
when I do
it.
podcasts with Kyle once a week,
quarter.
it's a very refreshing thing to have you actually contribute something funny to the show.
I've made fun of him before for this, but like this is literally a conversation between Tom and Kyle. Go ahead, start asking a question. It's something from Fourth Mother Box.
You know, when James Gunn really gave out that, the video, I felt authenticity out of him in the message. That's why I encourage people to watch the video. Did you feel the same thing?
No. No, I did not. Well, like, I don't know. He needs to fucking put Henry Cavill back as Superman. I mean, Christ. They're doing another. I don't fucking understand. I just don't get it.
I kind of go into Jordan Peterson here.
Yeah.
I don't get it, Joe. The problem is Henry Cavill's Superman. Yeah, that's how I go. It's like there's a long stare. And
Please listen to us.
And then
though.
you can finally hear the song that's playing in the background. And then you get distracted by that, and then he talks. You're like, oh yeah, there's people talking on this.
No.
That's your number 4, though? Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, that was great,
That's
but
a
dang.
great. That was a funny.
Dang, why? It was hilarious. Yeah.
It was hilarious, but
Especially for like a moment.
Yeah,
that's
for
true.
a moment.
Yeah, yours
you
are
kidding?
actual moments. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this one thing that lasted a whole day, like that's me. But yeah,
No, that's fair. That's what made the three of our 3 lists different.
they're so different.
Yeah,
I love
they're
that.
so different.
Yeah.
So I guess we loop right around back to your 3, Evan.
Oh, we're back to me now. Yeah,
Brad
because
gave
it's
us
the
4.
same. Okay, but what is my number 3? Oh, it kind of fits in the non-Halcyon or the non-spoiler review of the Halcyon
Oh, yeah,
I did.
there you go. Yeah.
After I got off, Brad hadn't done it yet. Tom wasn't listening or wasn't with us in the studio
I
that
had
night.
family, and I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you left early.
So I just sat over
We
here
did
and
2
I just
episodes,
like,
I think, and then we did a second one without you.
Okay.
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
But it was just 2.5 hours of me saying everything about the Halcyon without saying anything
No,
about the
it was
Halcyon.
way longer
Like,
than that.
That's all that. Oh, we broke it into 2 parts.
Broken into 2
Yeah,
parts.
you guys
that's
did 4
right.
hours.
Because I
Yeah.
wrote down the 1 episode, but it was 2. Yeah, it was 4 hours
4
of
hours.
just me saying everything but nothing about the Halcyon. And Brad saying it's amazing, but I still don't know what's happening. And
Yeah.
And I even like undersold it because I said like 1 or 2 things suck. I don't like lightsaber training, so I give it an 8 out of 10. And I undersold it because now Brad comes off and he's like, "Dude, it's a 10 out of 10. It's the best thing."
Yeah,
and it is the best
lightsaber
thing
training
ever.
was sick.
I liked
Yeah.
it.
It's
I
fun.
had fun. I don't think if I'd do it
Especially,
again.
no.
I'm joking. Of
I'm
course
gonna
I'm
figure
Fuck
out a
outta
way
here.
to
Beat
be
the
like
shit out of here.
scan in or whatever and be like, "Can I go back to the atrium now?" I'm gonna figure out a way because like I don't want to waste 30 minutes in a blue room.
But if you do the Force storyline, it connects incredibly. Because that's
Right.
how I got to it. By telling her during lightsaber training, I felt the pull to the Force, and that's what got Brad and I into the corner, and she beat us some more. No, I'm kidding.
And it reminds you of
Sasha.
Kijimi.
I'd pay for that.
Whoa, hit
the
a button.
fucking button, Tom.
But maybe I need to like do a little research into lightsaber fighting forms, so I can be like, "Oh, I'm feeling like tapping into this dark side form," and then like maybe like since I'm saying I'm tapping into this dark side form, the Saja can be like, "Oh, form number whatever, blah blah blah," and they can,
yeah. Just like I
'Cause-
said, I hold it like Anakin. She's like, form
Yeah.
number 9.
I need to turn it into
they
something
knew
instead
all
of
of that.
just moving a stick at a light. That was the problem because that's all it was. Unless you
Well, it's
do
'cause
something
you're a
cool.
First order piece of shit. That's why.
Well, I could have made it cool and I didn't.
Fucking dork.
Basically.
Thank you, Han. Where you at?
But that shows how awesome that is, man. I can just talk about that ship
Just
without
raise your
saying
arm.
anything for
There he is.
4
Let's see.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. What in the hell?
What in the hell's going on here? But that's a good,
Good one.
That's a good one.
I love those episodes.
My number 3 was another moment, and this is the first time Brad joined Fourth Mother Box. So we talked about so much on this
There's
episode.
a lot of news.
So much news. This was around July 4th. I'll go back and like after the fact, I'll probably look and post the dates in like our description and stuff. But Brad joined the night of you were booked to do Fourth Mother Box and Jedi Talk. So I won't talk about the Jedi Talk portion of that, but
Yeah, that was a rough go.
we like
we deleted that episode, didn't we?
Yes.
Batgirl
Yes.
like news came out. There were stills of of Supergirl coming from the Flash movie, which isn't out yet. This was 2021. This was like July 2021. was when he first joined. So we eventually got to talking about Indiana Jones, and there was a little bit of news about Indiana Jones coming out. So Kyle and Brad shared their thoughts. This is the first time Kyle and Brad had talked to each other, too. Mm-hmm. First time they technically met, even though they met on Galaxy's Edge in September 2020.
Yeah. I thought it was your little brother.
So then Kyle, as serious as day, just dropped some rumor he heard about Indiana Jones fighting a Scottish ghost.
It makes me laugh so hard.
And like Brad, like at first, like, you know, I'm like, what? And then Brad, at first, you could just hear him declining into his good old Muttley laugh, wherever the hell that is on here. God damn it, it's everything's going away. So
I just couldn't picture it.
So he was just like, and like this went on for minutes. And like I backed up from the mic and let it happen. I'm like, because this is a moment right now. And like Brad kept trying to collect his thoughts, and then he was like, he fights as good as he's like cracking it up.
Think about Indiana Jones like going through a Scottish.
Come here, you Scottish bastard!
Piece of shit. And he's like, "You can't catch me!"
And then he's running from a Scottish. They use him from Force Awakens, running from the Wrath Tower.
Ghastly from Pokemon, like little, like following him through.
Gengar.
Yeah. God damn it.
Good shit.
That's still. I went back and listened to that the day after it happened because I was like, was that as funny as I remembered it being? And it was.
Yes, apparently
so
it is.
It's so funny.
Tim accidentally sent a picture to our group chat. He meant to send to you only, but it's 4Gate Whiskey Company.
Oh.
Aged 7 years, 6 months.
Oh, nice.
I don't know what that means. Yeah, but all right. So that was my.
That's a hard bottle to find.
That was my number 3. Indiana Jones fights a Scottish ghost is what I put down.
That's
so
fantastic.
it's a moment for Fourth Mother Box.
It's a
and
deleted
actually,
scene from the
it's
new movie.
actually in our top 10 most listened to.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. It's
Wow.
like number 6 or 7. I have to go back and look, but
Damn.
yeah.
That's funny. That moment was so fucking funny.
Our most listened to is on my list. It's actually our number 1. So,
interesting. Okay.
What is your number 3?
So when I first asked Alex to join the podcast, we and him, he came over to I was actually living at the old apartment complex over at Integra, and he came over. I worked with him at the time, and we had not really spoken too much outside of work. And we're like, let's just do a podcast. Like, I knew he knew a lot about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I had just bought this new recorder. And we're doing a podcast, and we're 4 hours and 39 minutes in. I will never forget this as long as I live. And we're sitting there, and I see the low battery flash.
Oh no!
And I'm like looking at him. I'm like, wrap it up, because it's gonna go. I go to press the stop button, and the batteries die.
Oh!
And that entire 4-hour episode was completely lost. And it was so good.
That's the real lost episode right there.
That is a true lost episode. And I tried. It was like corrupted. I like sent it to a friend to see if he could uncorrupt it. It just was completely. It didn't write to the SD card because there was enough battery to write it. And it was just gone. And that is a moment where I was just so fucking pissed off that had happened. But it was fun because we talked about everything.
Yeah.
We talked about music. We talked about 4.5 hours. Like
4.5 hours.
Man.
4 hours and 8 or 9 minutes.
Jeez.
We've lost like an hour maybe a couple times to that, but which still sucked. But 4 hours, man.
That's fucking.
We've got to the point where we're like, well, do we want to just redo that, or like what do we do? But you can't. There's no way to redo 4 hours,
No.
especially because you just get off on natural conversations.
And he was like,
"There's no way."
He was like, "No,
no."
That was our first time. And also, like, imagine doing your first one. And you're like, "Well, that's not a good sign that things are to go well." Like,
now for a taste of things to come.
But yeah, that was great, and I love him. I miss him. What's up, Alex? I know he still listens. What's going on, brother?
I mean, technically, I should have counted that as I didn't really count it, but we interviewed him. I guess I don't know if it's an interview, but he was on the show since I've been here, so I've spoken to him, and that was a great moment. So I'll sneak that in with the interviews because it counts as an interview.
Yeah, that works.
I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that was cool. That was the only time I spoke to him, and like I would love him to come to Galaxy's Edge and have us just hang out with him.
He still hasn't been to Galaxy's Edge.
As soon as he comes, man, we're going to Oga's, all 4 of us.
Yep.
It's gonna be awesome.
So it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. We're gonna get Josh down here too for that.
Yes.
And have every host of Jedi Talk at Oga's together.
Dude, we get a table. We could actually sit.
Yeah, right. I always want to lie about having 6, but
right?
I know.
Just be like, I have.
It's like, yeah, those other 4 are with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
They'll be here in a minute.
Yeah, they won't let us in.
Nope.
Evan, what's your 2?
Number 2 is Rise of the Resistance opening day with Brad and Kevin and Dallin and who else? I mean, that was like our immediate party. But we saw so many other people. Yeah, Kevin's daughter. What's her name? She's overseas now. She used to be like a ICP or somebody.
She was in the Insane Clown Posse?
Yes, yeah, that. I forget her name.
Deb
Explorers.
Oh, Deb, yeah.
Yes.
I forgot she was
I miss her because since the whole COVID junk happened, she hasn't been back. But she was cool. She was there with us. But
I still talk to her. I talked to her a lot. She did a video not too long ago that I was like, you're really good at this. You need to keep
I've
going.
watched her YouTube too, and I'm like, you're really good.
She's really good.
Because it's not even all Disney stuff now because she can't get back to Disney yet. But like, it's all been good stuff.
She's genuinely entertaining.
Yeah,
I like Deb.
That day was crazy though. Like we just basically didn't sleep, and then we were there for 3 in the morning. We were basically
more excited
waiting
for this day than I was opening day of the park. Or of the
yeah,
land.
because you'd already done it. But like, this is also better than the land.
Mhm.
Like if they told me you can only pick one the rest of Galaxy's Edge or
Keeping
Rise,
Rise.
I'm keeping
yeah.
Rise. Like I love the land.
Hands down.
But
I know.
I'm keeping Rise. So that was just incredible though, because like we just didn't sleep, and then it was just thousands upon thousands of people packed in Galaxy's Edge, and we were there at 3 in the morning,
right
and it was
before
just
the world
insane.
shut down, which is
Yeah,
so
it was
weird
like
to think
the
that
highlight
was,
of everything before the low light of
It
everything.
doesn't even seem because I wrote it 20 times by the
Did
time
you?
it shut down.
Yeah, I wrote
That's
it a lot
crazy.
too.
I
wrote it every day for a long time.
So
Yeah,
we had so much planned for that trip that we were going to before it shut down. We were going to go April 2020 for my birthday. I remember crying when they canceled the Run Disney race I was in. I'm like, this is it.
Yep,
I'm like,
that's the sign.
It's coming.
Of things to come.
Yeah. Oh, I hated it.
I've told the story on the podcast before, but I'll touch upon it again here. That I kind of had to work around going to work that day to go to the opening of Rise. So this was when
you absolutely deserve that.
Have you heard the story?
No.
I think you have. I was.
All right, well,
this
tell
was
it again,
the time
please.
I was doing my coaching job. That is awful as it was. Is the reason I'm living in Florida now because of this job. So I'll give it that.
Good.
It happened for a reason, but it was
good. or
comes
bad
from
has some
something.
good.
Yeah. So, but it was still the worst thing I've ever been a part of.
Yeah, I
so
agree with that.
this week happens to be the one week where the team I'm coaching is not playing anywhere that's within drivable distance because they're playing in Rhode Island, of all places. So the day that they are going to Rhode Island is the day before Rise opens. And I'm like, and the day they get back is 3 days after Rise opens. So I'm like, there's no way I can go to opening day. What am I going to do? So I tell...
Where was this again? What state?
They were going to Rhode Island.
You sold my dead bird to a blind kid?
That's where Harry Dunn and Lloyd Christmas live.
Which is ironic because I was actually born in Rhode Island, so I love the state. I'm not hating on the state. Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
was
make
born
fun
in
of you
there.
for that now.
Oh man, how could you? So I tell the guy that's running the basketball team that I'm coaching here, that my grandfather has passed away.
Savage. I
love
this. I love
and
this.
his
You're a terrible person, but I love
and
this.
his funeral is on December 5th. So I have to go to Indiana on December 5th. So I cannot fly with the team to Rhode Island this day. So I say, hey, look, December 6th, I'll get on a flight from Indiana to Rhode Island. I'll join the team out there on December 6th. But December 5th, I cannot join you. He says, okay, no problem. Family comes first. Family's family.
Yeah. I'm a Skywalker bitch. Family does come
Yep.
first.
So they go to Rhode Island. I do Rise. Have a great time. One of the best days of my life. And then, bright and early the next morning, I'm on the first plane from Florida to Rhode Island. So I joined him up there.
Fucking move to say your grandfather died.
And even though I said that they were playing somewhere that was not within drivable distance, they actually drove to Rhode Island. So I got out of that, but I had to drive back.
I remember you
I
driving
drove
back.
the van the whole 18 hours
I remember
back.
that.
And like I said earlier, how podcast got me through a lot of stuff.
Did you ever get
podcast
caught?
got me through a lot of stuff.
Did you ever get caught?
Nope.
I did this once as a youth where I used that as an excuse, and boy, they were going on my band's website and looking this up. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah,
I mean, don't
was-
get me wrong. Every job I've had except that one,
Not of
especially the
grandparents.
job I have right now, I would never pull that. But that job,
Oh,
I
yeah.
had to pull it. It was awful.
Some jobs are just jobs.
Exactly.
Yes.
Some
all
jobs
it
That
is.
one that was the reason I moved to Florida. Just that's got me down here, and thank God it's done.
There you go. Good story.
Man, that was
My number 2
great.
is got to go back and look. I forgot what it is. Okay. Brad, you had already made mention. I know, Evan, you talked about every post Halcyon episode we've done to this point, especially the ones that we all three of us did right after Brad and I got a chance to go, because we found out that a lot of the Halcyon performers listened to those episodes.
True.
You know, we heard from our favorite Croy that He checked us out on the HoloNet. Our favorite chemist, Labeth, told us she checked us out.
Mm-hmm.
Some other performers, I'm sure, have as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't say much more than those. You know how much we love the Halcyon. Yeah, they absolutely have.
And
I wonder which performer told Disney about this. Like they had to have heard it, or I posted it in so many groups, like 3 or 4 groups. That's how so many people fucking heard it.
Really?
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
And that
blew the fuck up.
it
episode
doubled
blew-
the downloads we normally
For the
get.
month.
And then the episode after that, when you and I addressed it, those episodes doubled in a matter of 4 days than what we normally get after a month.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's wild. So.
It's insane. So
Brad, what's your number 2?
Well, the other good things about those
Yes, Evan.
those episodes too is there's a lot of good things, but I had done the voyage for 2-3 months before you guys did, so I had no one else to talk about the Halcyon to. No one else I knew had done it, and no one else I know has done it except for you two and Taylor and I.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really be like, Taylor, remember that one time? And she'd be like, yeah, I was right next to you. and then
No shit, Sherlock.
And
Was
I
that-
would watch our own videos, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, that's it, because no one else had done videos because it was so early.
Right. That's
so
true.
I had to sit on this for months without having anyone to talk to about it.
Ugh.
Just sitting on this info and all this cool nerd stuff, and then finally you guys did it, and I could just let it all overflow.
And then we shared a
with you
bunch of
guys.
stuff you didn't know.
And that was another thing
Yeah.
that was awesome. You told me stuff that I had no clue. You told me that the proposal was fake.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
what? I thought it was a real thing.
We were right by. We were helping Wraith get people
Yeah.
together to fake that. Yeah.
Thankfully, after you guys told me that, I found it on YouTube. I found out that it was fake from other people. But
Okay.
I'm glad I found out from you
On the
first
show, yeah,
that
yeah.
it was part of the whole thing. And I'm like, they made it so real, and I believed it because I'm like, oh, it's just another person that's proposing in front of the castle. I'm like, here we go. Here's a new thing,
Right.
proposing on the Halcyon.
Right.
But no, it's fake.
it is fake.
You know it's not fake?
My love for Kyle's mom.
Yes. And your number 2. That's not fake.
My number 2 was interviewing Jim Cummings and interviewing Bill Farmer. Go back, look those episodes up. It was Jim Cummings was on August 13th, and Bill Farmer was on December 12th of 2015. Both
Nice.
episodes 2015. So
Good shit.
Two goats.
that one, not so much to do with Star Wars, but Jim Cummings does kind of tie in, but at the time he didn't. But
He
if
does
you guys
now.
know me, or if you don't know, if you're new to the show, I'm a huge Darkwing Duck fan. And so getting to talk to him, he actually recorded... Close enough.
Close.
This is the closest thing I had.
He actually recorded an intro for my podcast as Darkwing Duck.
I remember
Yes.
that. Yeah.
I used to play it all the time, even on Jedi Talk. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, that's the coolest shit ever. Darkwing Duck
Yeah.
introduced
That
me.
needs to make a comeback. That thing is great.
Just
I don't
give it
have
to
the
me.
original audio anymore.
You don't? Oh, I was just say give it to me and I'll put it on here.
I can do that.
Okay.
Brad Hughes. It's him as Darkwing Duck. That was fucking the coolest shit.
Yeah.
The coolest thing to me was being able
Yes,
to.
absolutely.
Come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
so
good shit, man.
imagine if Kevin Conroy, rest his soul, was able to do Fourth Mother Bucks.
I know.
Tom O'Gree.
This is the closest thing I got. It's on here somewhere.
Say hi to Tom.
That was on Kyle's
That's
cameo.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty crazy.
But
And then
yeah.
I also have this one.
Batman has always got your back.
Dang.
Oh, goosebumps. Jesus
That resonates.
Christ.
Man,
Oh, Evan, what's your number 1? Follow up
Man,
after
I
the death
can't
of
follow up
the
that.
Batman.
I
Yeah.
cannot follow that up. That's pretty iconic. But my number 1 happened somewhat recently, this past summer, when Austin and his friend Tomas came down. It was just Austin and Tomas and me and Brad and Tom.
Oh, yeah.
Just in Brad's apartment. Just
Yeah.
it
was hot as shit.
Yeah. But we were recording and doing a show, but it was really just us 5 guys just being idiots.
We were
Yeah.
all hammered to some degree.
Yeah, and you
Well,
had
I
cooked up
was
some
high.
some
You were
mean
hammered. You were hammered.
cheeseburgers.
Oh,
You
that's
made a-
right. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
cheeseburger
slap
night.
You
burger
cooked up some slap burgers, man. Those things were good, and Austin was doing his freaking crunk impression for 30 minutes.
It was so fun. That was a fun
Raw.
episode.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Austin's coming back soon, and we got to get him to come over again. But
Hell yeah.
that was great because I don't know. It just kind of hit me. I'm looking at Austin. I'm like, huh. I don't live in the same state as him anymore, so I don't get to see him as much. But he's my actual brother, and I'm sitting here next to Tom and Brad. They're my Florida brothers.
Flip
This
brother.
is Flo Brothers.
Hello, brother.
I'm like, this is.
He's my favorite rapper.
I'm like,
Flo
this
bro.
is what I'm always looking for here. This is what do they say in Fast and Furious? Family.
Family.
I'm like, this is the
Whatever.
family.
Nobody cares.
Well,
Nobody
the 10th
cares.
one's coming out, so who's
Just
ready?
Fast X family.
Just like Avatar 2, that movie makes money somehow too. So
don't know a
I
single person
enjoyed
who's seen
Avatar
it.
too.
Did you see it?
Finally
Yeah.
saw it, so
Yeah.
I'd finally know someone who's seen
Yeah,
the fucking movie.
me too. Actually,
It's not as good as the first and gets way
That's
too
not
confusing.
saying much because I don't think
It's like the opposite of the first. The first is so obvious and so simple, and then the second one is like way too convoluted and way too crazy.
Interesting.
So it's like, hopefully the third one is a happy medium. We'll
There's
see.
like 10 more, right?
There's at least up to 5 planned, so we'll see.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see.
Get fucked, James Cameron. Do something else.
They're going to be made for as long as James Cameron's ego inflates. Was that all you?
Yeah, dude. Yep, that was it. It was a
All
good
right.
night.
That was a good night. Yeah,
That was
yeah.
fun.
I forgot about the slap burgers too. So, all right, my number one happened December the 18th in the year of 2021. So,
Okay.
this is with Kyle live. The first time he and I had ever done a Fourth Mother Box in person together. Wasn't in Chicago. Wasn't in Florida. It was in San Francisco. And
Okay.
this was also a Jedi Talk episode because we were all different places. It was Christmas time. So I had talked to the boys beforehand, and I'm like, look, I'm going to record a podcast with Kyle out in San Francisco about the first night of the Metallica 40th concert, and we will just get done seeing Spider-Man No Way Home. So we had so much to talk about on that episode. But the fact that I had already seen Metallica the night before, we were about to see him the night after, we just saw what Kyle and I believe to be a great comic book movie. Like, we were jonesing from that. And I was in, like, there's a vibe when Metallica's in town, but the vibe is so different when it's San Francisco because that's where they were born. That's where they lived. That's where thrash was created and expanded from. So you're walking out there, you see Metallica shirts everywhere, their family there. You're there with people you've seen before. And then just be able to record a podcast there, even if it was in the hotel room. Like, I remember the funniest part about that was I was talking about shoving something up my ass when they came and brought us towels. So I'm like, this guy had just heard me yelling about putting a remote. I think it was the remote up my ass. Yes. And then he's like, towel. Housekeeping. But it was like 2.5 hours. Kyle and I talked about some other shit. It was fun. You know, podcasting in general. Glad that we got to share these moments. This was a good top 10.
Yeah.
Sharing these moments, right? It's something so stupid and simple, and we're all, you know, Brad and I are in our mid-30s. Evan's getting there.
Oh, man, I got a week.
It's the white guy thing to do, is host podcasts.
Yeah.
And be terrible humans, you know? That's what we do.
Have you seen the meme? It's like, why do men in their 30s start podcasts instead of going to therapy?
Yep.
Yeah,
And then
two things: go to therapy or start a podcast.
Yeah. Did you see the response? Like, somebody responded, it's like,
I have before, yeah.
Yeah, the same reason you start an OnlyFans account.
Yep.
Brad, what's your number one, sir?
My number one is the trailer reaction to The Rise of Skywalker.
That's a good one.
That was so much fun.
That opened up a lot of doors for us, especially going forward with, I don't know if you know this about Celebration and stuff. Like, that was a video I was able to cite because it got like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views on the video. But that's not the reason. The real reason I love that moment so much is the story behind that reason. Do you remember the story?
I'm sure I will as you tell it. But
So that night they had announced it, and I was excited about it. I was working at Epcot Vacation Planning at the time, and I was always known for like being like the super nice guy, like, yeah, sure, I'll stay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, this night they were force extending people, and which means they can just extend you and you don't have a say.
Love that.
And
ooh, yikes!
It's like, sorry, it's just what it is. So this night I had been very vocal all day, like I'm trying to leave early. I want to get home in time. My friends are at the door, blah blah blah. Like Josh and Josh were like waiting for me at one point, or Josh at least was, because Josh was there that night too.
I think I had already I think I might have been in the parks or something. Because whenever I was coming, I was like, I'm driving an hour. I'm going to do stuff and also get to hang out with Brad and watch something. Like, it was always a bunch of stuff.
So then it was Josh. Because remember, he was texting me that because I didn't make it home. Holly wasn't there. She had like gone to the store to get stuff for the night. Blah blah blah. So I'm sitting at work and it's around 4:30, and I had been trying to leave early all day. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I just want to get home and be home because it was around Christmas. It was a busy time for some reason. That's why I got force extended. So they come to me and they go, we need you to stay till 7. And I was like, that's not happening. Like, I have friends that were watching the Star Wars trailer.
You have a dead
reaction.
grandpa. Got to go to Indiana.
I was so close to pulling that shit, dude.
Yep.
But they had known all day that I've been like looking forward. I was like, I can't wait. And this is the last, the Rise of Skywalker one. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking this is the wrong one. That was Last Jedi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't here for that one.
Okay.
But anyway, the Rise of Skywalker one was good because it was the finale. I'll take that story was replies to the Last Jedi. I'll tell that story later some other time. But no, this one was like cool because it was like such a great trailer. No, so our trailer actually was for the Last Jedi, not the Rise of Skywalker.
I was with you with Rise. I was still living in Indiana for The Last Jedi. Last Jedi came out in 2017. I moved down here in 2019.
Maybe it is this one. No, it has to be because I didn't. Whatever. I don't remember. It was the trailer reaction for this. So this is the right story. So, they tell me, sorry, we can't let you leave earlier. You have to stay. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I was always like, sure, I'll stay. You know. And they're like, well, you don't have a choice. And I was like, I'm leaving. So like, you can get mad at me if you want, but I'm not missing this moment. Like I've been looking forward to this for months. They like announced it. Like you guys know I love Star Wars. I'm out.
You're like, my schedule says 9 to 5. I'm out at 5.
I was like, I'm out. So like, it's just what it is. Like you can be mad at me if you want, and I don't really.
Kind of surprised the union allows that, but whatever.
I don't get like that. And so I went back the next day. I was apologizing. I was like, look, I'm sorry, but I love Star Wars, and I was not missing this with my friends. Like it's just what it is.
Yeah.
But I remember that was a real fight.
I bet.
And they were not happy with me. But it's just what it is. We love Star Wars. And this was a fucking awesome list. That was so much fun to relive some of these really cool moments
of the
show.
Yeah.
It's really cool to sit back and look at the show because it's had so many different versions. And like I said before, I think this is the best version of the show. But it's just we've done so much cool shit, and it's like you forget about certain things and like certain moments. So I'm really glad we got to do this show.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we get really silly and stupid a lot, but this show means a lot to us. And I can't speak for listeners, but I assume there's some listeners that it probably has some meaning to.
I would hope so.
Like we look forward to this every week. This is something like I can't wait for X night. Usually it's Thursday night, but like this week it wasn't. But like I can't wait for this night that we're meeting to do the show.
It's like we all get to sit around and talk about something we love and get to hang out because we don't get to see each other that much.
Yeah,
which is a shame. But we're all busy. And we all got lives and other
at
shit
least
going
once
on.
a week.
Once a week we get
that's
to see each
more
other
than I see
hang out.
Kyle.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
it's true.
Thank God.
But
it's true.
In podcasts, I've said it earlier, but it means something to some people because it gets us through crap, like bad jobs, whatever, a bad time in your life, whatever, or good times. You're just listening to it because it's your way to get some news, some entertainment, but it helps people through stuff. Podcasts definitely help me through a lot of stuff.
Yep, I'm with you, man. Got me through that shit job at Purdue. So, thank you guys for listening to this episode. Happy Star Wars Podcast Day, and we will see you on the next one. Until then, stay safe. May the Force be with you.
Always good journey into Buite.
Rise, Jedi Knight.
What was that?
The T-Rex.
That's the T-Rex from Jurassic Park.